Hey guys, in this episode we're going to be turning this into a heat shield. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're going to be cutting and bending this piece of aluminium into a heat shield for our turbos at the back there. So we're going to use a template first. I'm going to trace it out onto this. I'm going to cut this, fold it, and I'm thinking of riveting it together. Let's start doing the template. Alright guys, so we're doing a heat shield. We might do two. We'll do one for the turbo, and then we'll make one up for the brake master cylinder there. Turbo, wastegate, we'll make all that. Just thinking of some nice flat panels. So we'll have little tabs on all flaps on each end, and they'll lap over, and then we'll bolt through, or when it's all done we'll put a rivet through it and rivet that on. So being after Christmas, we need a lot of cardboard going around, so I've got plenty of material to make templates out of. Maybe something a bit thinner would be better, but we'll use this and see how we go. No, we'll go through a few little prototypes with the cardboard. Maybe it might be better to come off the firewall for like the wastegate, but then have something attached to the downpipe. You know what I mean? Right, so I'm just looking at maybe putting the downpipe and that together to have a shield across there. So I'm going to move this top reference point for the boost solenoid to this port here and have it coming out this way, so you can get it a bit closer to there. Alright, just a 10mm. Get the Allen key for that one. Ooh, so I was going to drop that one. Make sure I don't drop any of the washers. Made it more low profile, which is great. Hi guys, I'm back. I actually got some cereal box cardboard, which is a better thickness for what I'm working with. Might have to do some bead rolling to make it more strong, because it's quite thin, and allow it to hold its shape better. But yeah, let's start working that. Obviously we can bend it to whatever shape. Alright, so just looking down here, like with the brake and the wiring on this side, when the engine's out, I will do that. We can really tuck it in there nice and good. And I know I'm going to have to be probably 5mm away from the brake, so it'll be nice and close. We'll have some of that heat protectant on one side of it, or even both sides of it, and yeah, just keep everything nice and tight. Right, so focus on up here. Just looking at how I'm going to mount it. I'll probably have to maybe weld a nut onto the exhaust, so then we can bolt it to it. Alright guys, I've just been playing around with just a single strip, really. I have rotated this nipple around to the other side, and just pretty much getting the height that I want there, and then bending it down so we can come across like so it's not all wonky like this, and then I'll fill in that there. That might work. It'll look a bit neater. We can still get to the clamp, which you shouldn't really need to, but we're about 5mm off here, so we might have a bolt there, and probably have to make a bracket of something else, off a V-band clamp or something like that. I can make a bracket off the wastegate, come up and have one here. That should be good. You could always extend that bracket out like a T, so it has support, because this will be quite thin. I think we might be able to do that. Make it as simple as possible. Just keep it simple. And then we'll have obviously one on the firewall for the wiring. I reckon that'll neaten up things. Pretty much just need a strip. That'll make that. So by the looks of it, might be like a 4-inch radius that I need to bend it at. So I've got some pretty much 4-inch there. I should be able to do that. Alright guys, got some bent up. It's pretty thin. Some burrs on there. Here we go, something like that. Looks alright. We'll fold up a side. We'll have some rivets to go down that way. We'll end up shaving that side off. So, in there so much. Tack weld on a M8 nut just here. And we'll send a bolt through. Or we can do it the other way around. Put a bolt on there and put a nut on here. Probably better if we do it. Nut in there. You can space it out. I don't know. Anyway, we'll work it out. Alright, so I ended up just folding this corner down because it was poking out quite a bit. And it actually sits on there quite well. Runs parallel to the firewall. And yeah, worked out quite well. So just going to trace out this line here, and then we'll put a flap onto the bit that we trace out so that can fold underneath, and we can rivet along there. Slowly getting there, boys. Slowly. Obviously that's not where it's sitting, it's just falling down a bit, but it's dinner time. We'll come back later and we'll make that front panel, and we'll probably sort out something on the back side too. So then we'll have to start working on some brackets. Alright guys, so here is my second attempt at it. So I've done the same radius, done some relief cuts in there. So I have rivets along here. And this comes right up pretty much to the dump pipe. And yeah, we just need to work on the back side of it. So pretty happy with that. We've got about 10mm overhang so we can rivet through there. So we can do plenty of rivets. Alright, made a little progress since the battery went flat in the GoPro. So we've got this panel made up and bent. Not the best, but I have drilled a hole here, taken off the intercooler pipe here, and I had that in position, and I put the drill through, and now we've got a point of where we need to weld on a 10mm nut, and then we can mount that part. So just about to fire up the welder. I'm gonna clean off this paint here, and then we'll just tack weld a nut on there. Alright, to be safe, I've disconnected and removed the Elite 550. The master switch is off because we are welding on the car. Sorry. I'll also disconnect the battery because the fuel pump is connected straight to the battery. Battery is disconnected. I was wondering where I put that. Alright, I've also just disconnected the flex fuel sensor as well, just in case. I'll disconnect this just in case. Alright, so what I've done is I've just put the nut on the end of quite a long bolt so I can hold it in position and tack it. Also, if you didn't see, I've got the earth for the welder onto the V-band, so we should be coming at an angle like this, just tack it on. Alright, there it is. It's on. Clean it up. And I've got to say goodnight to the kids, and then we'll be out later. Alright, finally back out here. So I've got a bolt in here now. Now there's nothing behind it, but it is bolted to that nut that we put on. So there is a bit of movement. So I need to put like a spacer or something like that behind there. That should be good. I need to make a bracket for it up the top here, so we are sitting a bit better. But yeah, it's actually quite a long bolt that needs to go in there. Cool, there's one. I might have a spacer from, oh, that'd be too fat. Anyway, we'll work that out probably tomorrow. It's about 10:45 at the moment. Alright guys, I'm back. It's the next day and I just did a little test piece on riveting. So this is a piece I cut out of this section here. So what I did is I just folded it back on itself and put a rivet in, and it sounds pretty good. Didn't warp the top. So I'm pretty happy with that. Got a whole bunch there. So 3.5mm drill bit. They are 3.1, I believe. I did just measure them. 3.1, 9, 3.2. Yeah, that worked out really well. So we can join these now, or we can join this together. There's our bolt for mounting it on to the exhaust. Just need to find a spacer, which should be probably about 15mm long. I'll see if I can find something. Alright, so for the turbo heat shield, this is just going to be it. I'm just going to rivet this all together. We'll end up putting the reflective tape, heat tape on the inside of it. Obviously get rid of that sticker. And so the other heat shieldings will be on the firewall for that wiring there, and on the brake master cylinder and slave cylinder over there. So yeah, we'll drill these up and rivet these. Probably every 20mm I'll put a rivet in. Alright, so that's 20mm apart, so there's going to be quite a few rivets in there. That should keep it all nice and good. Look, we probably could space it out to the 40, which I might actually do first up. So I'll drill out every second one and see how we go. Our first ones on the edges are 10mm in, and then I'll skip that one, and do that one, skip that one, do that one, skip that one, do that one, and see how we go. So yeah, that works out. I can skip them and it'll still land on that 10mm from this end as well. So we'll see how that looks first, then we'll go from there. Right, there's the first one. Move on to this one here. I'll skip that one for now. I'll go to this one, then we'll come back and we'll take that tape off and we'll do that one. This one next. Alright, so I've done the rivets. I don't think I'll end up doing the ones in between. So with this bolt here, I ended up putting a 20mm Philonic spacer behind it. It's actually a bit loose, which is actually from the radium rails. So there are a couple of different ones, and yeah, I've got a few spare ones. So let's chuck that behind. I need to make a bracket at the top here, so it won't rattle. That is going to be the hardest part. There we go, guys. We have a mount. So it's actually mounted off the wastegate B-band. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. We've got this one here. So we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, that will be it for this episode. Next episode we'll work on the firewall and the brake heat shields. Going away over the weekend. Then we're going for a good drive with some of the boys from work and some mates on Monday the 2nd. So hopefully we'll get some good footage of that as well. We won't be driving this though. We'll be driving the Black XT. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And I'll catch you next episode. Bye.